Satam abhadrani muhu kalanam Vibhashi rupanyavabodhatma Shemaya lokasya characharasya Svatvopapanani sukavahani Satam abhadrani muhu kalanam Vibhashi rupanyavabodhatma Shemaya lokasya characharasya Sattvopapanani sukavahani Satam abhadrani muhu kalanam Vibhashi rupanyavabodhatma Shemaya lokasya characharasya Sattvopapanani visankavani Tam abhadrani muhu kalanam Vibhashi rupanyavabodhatma Shemaya lokasya characharasya Sattvopapanani sukavahani Vibhashi rupanyavabodhatma Shemaya lokasya characharasya Sattvopapanani Vibhashi rupanyavabodhatma Vibhashi rupanyavabodhatma Ladies, Vibhashi rupanyavabodhatma Shemaya lokasya characharasya Sattvopapanani sukavahani Udamatma Shemaya lokasya characharasya Sattvopapanani sukhavahani Sattam abhatani muhosalana Bibharshi, you accept Rupani, varieties of forms, such as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Rama, and Nrsimha. Avabodha Atma, in spite of having different incarnations, you remain the Supreme, full of knowledge. Shemaya, for the benefit of everyone, and especially the devotees. Lokasya, of all living entities. Chara acharasya, moving and non-moving. Sattva upapanani, all such incarnations are transcendental Shuddha Sattva. Shuka Havani, full of transcendental bliss. Satam, of the devotees. Abhadrani, all inauspiciousness or annihilation. Muhu, again and again. Kalanam, of the non-devotees. Translation. O Lord, you are always in full knowledge, and to bring all good fortune to all living entities, you appear in different incarnations, all of them transcendental to the material creation. When you appear in these incarnations, you are pleasing to the pious and religious devotees, but for the non-devotees, you are the annihilator. Purport. This verse explains why the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears as an incarnation again and again. The incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead all function differently, but their main purpose is pritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam, to protect the devotees and annihilate the miscreants. Yet even though the duskritis or miscreants are annihilated, this is ultimately good for them. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Langayate Garim Yat Kripa Taraham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. So these are prayers by the demigods for Lord Krishna, who's within the womb of Devaki. The demigods are praying to the Lord. Actually, because of the request of the demigods, the Lord has made his appearance. And here specifically, the reason why the Lord appears is being given. And as mentioned, the Lord, Bhimharshi Rupani, means he takes various forms. And Prabhupada in the word for word mentions some of the incarnations of the Lord. Matsya Avatar, Kurma Avatar, Nrsimha Avatar, Vamana Avatar, different forms. The Lord can have various forms. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadi, Anantarupam. The Lord can have so many forms. Right? But even though he has so many forms, still there's the original form from which all these other forms are coming. And that is Krishna. The Swayam Rupam. Ete Changsha Kala Krishna. Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. That Krishna is the original form from which all the other forms are coming. Like if you have one original candle, that candle can light so many candles, and they all have the same power of heat and light, but still there's the one original candle from which all the other candles are lit. Right? So that's Krishna. He's the fountainhead of all the various incarnations of the Lord. The Lord has these various incarnations, and their purpose, although they have different activities, when they come, they perform different things, but the main aim is, as mentioned here from Bhagavad Gita, Pritranayana sadhunam vinasaya chaduskritam, to protect the devotees and to annihilate the miscreants. Now when the Lord comes, the word mentioned here is avabodha atma. So he still remains full in his knowledge, in all his opulences. And one of his opulences is that the Lord is full of knowledge. Right? And he teaches, by his coming to this world, he teaches, like Lord Krishna teaches his message in the Bhagavad Gita, right? The Gita is lessons to be learned for the living entity the Lord is teaching, right? So he remains full in knowledge, even though he takes various forms. In all of his incarnations, he's teaching a lesson, right? So that lesson is particularly interesting to the devotees. And so therefore they benefit by the Lord's various incarnations. How does the Lord protect the devotees? He protects the devotees by giving them transcendental knowledge. Right? They get knowledge from the Lord. They understand about what the purpose of this life is. Right? So what's the difference between the sadhu and the duskritina, or the non-devotee? Right? What's the difference? It's a sadhu. Generally people think of sadhu, they think of someone who has, lal kapra and one big dadi and one jetiya. O sadhu. Never mind what he does, right? Like when we go to Kumbh Mela, so many sadhus, quote-unquote sadhus, right? But they're smoking bidi, drinking, they're in line for the chai in the morning, right? So generally people think this is sadhu. But if you look in the Bhagavad Gita, in that particular verse, Pritranayana sadhunam, Srila Prabhupada translates sadhunam as a devotee, right? So being a devotee doesn't have anything to do with what color your dress is, right? Your dress may be any color. So what does it mean to be a devotee? Right? So Prabhupada, he defines that in the purport. He explains that being a devotee is one who has an affinity, an attraction for Krishna. That's a devotee. Right? An attraction for the Lord. And the non-devotees, adversely, they don't have an attraction for the Lord. They're not attracted by the Lord. They're not attracted by the Lord's message. They're interested in sense gratification. Now, one may say, the demigods, there also we see they're interested in sense gratification. And that's true. One has a material body, there will be sense gratification, right? The requirements for the body. But the demigods, although they have material attachments, still they know that Krishna is the source of everything and the goal of life, right? So we can understand that there's a difference between being a devotee and being a pure devotee, right? The pure devotees of the Lord, they're not interested in any sense gratification, right? They're simply interested in gratifying the senses of Krishna, and only Krishna, right? For their own sense gratification, they're not interested, right? And the perfect example of the devotees are the devotees in Vrindavan, in Braj, in Gokul, and Goloka. Those devotees are only interested in the pleasure of Krishna. Like the gopis. When the gopis in the morning see Krishna go off into the forest, they say the perfection of our eyes is to see Krishna and Balaram tending the cows and entering into the forest. But the gopis know that when Krishna goes into the forest, there are so many stones, patar and kata, or thorns, right? And they know that Krishna's feet are so soft, right? That these thorns and stones may give him trouble, right? So like that, throughout the day, they're thinking of the lotus feet of Krishna, right? In various ways. This is what it means to be a pure devotee of the Lord, to always be meditating on Krishna. And conversely, the duskritam, or the non-devotees, they're always meditating on their own sense gratification, right? How to increase their pleasure, right, of the senses. But it's ultimately frustrating, because no matter how much sense gratification one engages in, one doesn't become satisfied. It's not satisfying to the self. Right? Therefore, Krishna is giving his message in the Bhagavad Gita that those who simply try to satisfy the senses, they'll become frustrated. There's no happiness available for them by trying to simply gratify the senses. Krishna comes in his various forms to deliver the devotees. Srila Prabhupada mentions that he doesn't really need to come to kill the demons. He can kill the demons in so many different ways. Right now in Australia, so many fires are going on, big fires. They can't put the fires out. And so many thousands and thousands of acres are burning to the ground. People are being killed. Their homes are being burnt by a big fire. They can't put it out. And they're praying for rain. Let rain come, right? Because it's the only way to extinguish the fires that they're having in Australia. So there are so many ways that Krishna can come and kill the demons. He doesn't need to personally come and take care of that, right? But he comes more to benedict his devotees. He's concerned to please his devotees, satisfy his devotees. Because when the demons are more, the demoniac population is more, who suffers? The devotees suffer, right? Devotees suffer. When people become impious, when they become mad after sense gratification is there, right? It's prescribed in the Vedic literatures, right? Sense gratification. But not unrestricted sense gratification. It should be restricted. Nowadays people are after unrestricted sense gratification. No regulations about sense gratification. They'll eat anything, do anything, right? Drink anything. Unrestricted sense gratification. So in this way, when there's unrestricted sense gratification, the population becomes more and more mad. And the devotees suffer. Right? So just to protect them, the Lord comes. Protect them from this demoniac population, the Lord comes. So how does he protect them? He comes and he gives them transcendental knowledge so they can see things as they are, so they don't become bewildered, right? The materialist may think that having material things. What are the material things the materialistic persons are after? Yes, money. What do they do with the money? They want to have a big bungalow, nice apartment. The other day an apartment sold for $235 million somewhere in New York City, I think. $235 million, one apartment. Right? So in this way, that's their enjoyment. Better and better apartments. Better and better apartments. They don't know that due to their attachment for the apartment, in the next life, they'll be in that apartment as a chua. In the same apartment. Nicely, running around, trying to avoid the billy. Right. You like your car. You're so much attached to your Mercedes car, BMW, Audi. Okay, next life, you take birth as a cockroach in the BMW. You stay there nicely. But Krishna has mercy on the devotees because he comes and he gives knowledge. He gives knowledge in the form of the Bhagavad Gita. Explains everything, right? That this material sense gratification is not the goal of life, right? BB, bungalow, bank balance, this is not the goal of life. You may have all these things and still fail in life. And what is that failure? The failure is to again take birth in this material world, again to go inside the womb for 9-10 months packed up inside the womb, not able to move, right? The mother is eating the, what do you call it, so much masala, chilies, mirchi kate, and the bacha's skin is burning inside the womb, burning. And inside the womb, there are so many worms, and they bite the child, the worms inside the womb, right? So we think that we have this great heritage. You know, I'm born in Agarwal family or Sharma or this family or that family. But actually, who are our brothers? Who are our sisters? Are the worms, because they came from the same womb that we did. So what is that family? Huh? A heritage of worms. So there's nothing auspicious about this material world. Although people in the material world, they're always calculating, this is auspicious, this is inauspicious, do this auspicious work, right? But in the material world, outside of Krishna's seva, outside of Krishna's holy name, everything is inauspicious. If it's in relationship to Krishna, then it has something auspicious about it. If it's not in relation to Krishna, no use. Shrama evi kevalam. Whatever we're doing should bring some attraction to Krishna. Whatever we're doing. In the ultimate end, it should bring us closer to Krishna. Right? So therefore, Srila Prabhupada has started this International Society for Krishna Consciousness to bring us closer to Krishna. Inasmuch as we have love for Krishna, we're successful in this life. Love for Krishna without any tinge of desire for some reward, some benefit, right? You know, I'll come to the temple and see Krishna if I pass the test, if I pass my exams, huh? Or if my business is successful. Prahlad Maharaj, he rejected that. Lord Nrsingadev said, when he came in front of, after he killed Hiranyakasipu, Lord Nrsingadev killed his father, tore him apart, right? He was very angry, extremely angry. Right? So angry that the demigods, here we see the demigods praying to Krishna within the womb. At the same time, when Lord Nrsingadev came, the demigods didn't know what to do because they thought his anger would destroy the whole universe. Everything would be destroyed by Lord Nrsingadev's anger. So they were perplexed. What to do? They thought, okay, we'll send Lakshmi, his wife. We'll send his wife and then he'll calm down, right? But Lakshmi never saw her husband so angry, like that, so angry. So she thought, maybe this is not my husband. I never saw my husband so angry. So the chaste lady will never go to some other man. So when she wasn't sure, she didn't go. So then they thought what to do. Then Lord Brahma said, okay, let us send Prahlad. So they sent the young child Prahlad to Lord Nrsingadev to pacify him. And Prahlad wasn't afraid, right? So many teeth and eyes and nails. He just killed his father, But he wasn't afraid. He went in front of the Lord and offered his obeisances, and Lord Nrsingadev was pacified by the young boy Prahlad and his devotion. So Lord Nrsingadev is telling him, you take some benediction. Take some favor. And what did Prahlad say? My dear Lord, we're not like some baniya to take some profit. We're happy simply with chanting your holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. As long as we're chanting your holy name, and as long as we're engaged in your service, we're happy. So this is the secret. This is what we can learn. This is the idea behind Krishna taking so many different incarnations, right? Is to attract the minds of the devotees. And if they're not attracted, then they're destroyed by their own foolishness, right? Nowadays, there's so many foolish philosophies that God is dead. God is dead. Before, people used to go to the church and pray for bread. Our Father who art in heaven, give us our daily bread. But now bread is available in the supermarket, so why we should go to the church? The need to pray for God is not there, therefore God is dead. So many foolish ideas. So many foolish ideas. God is not dead, but those who think he's dead, they are dead. Their ability to understand God is dead. They're the ones that are dead. Their intelligence is dead by over-attachment to sense gratification. They are dead. God's not dead. Their ability to understand God is dead. Right? So the idea is that in order to avoid all these nonsense conclusions, like the atheistic scientist, right? Their idea is that life comes about by a combination of chemicals, right? And that the human species evolved from lower species to the human body. Right? And this is known as Darwin's theory, right? The scientific process, first you have a hypothesis, then some experimentation, it becomes a theory, and then a fact. Scientific fact. This is the scientific process, right? But Darwin, when did Darwin live? What was the time factor for Darwin? What year was it? Anybody know? Bhaktivedanta Institute? Hello? Hello? Darwin, when did he live? 200 years. So, for 200 years, this has only been Darwin's theory, never been proved. Well, what kind of a theory is that? Huh? Why we should pay attention? But still, people are so much absorbed in this theory that they teach it in the schools like it's an absolute fact. That man evolved from apes. Isn't it? There's 2 pages on Darwin's theory, and recently they add 1 line in the science books. Some people say that the world was created, 1 sentence. Some people say the world was created. Boom, finished. And that's only a concession because some people believe in God. but 2 pages on this theory, Darwin's theory. So in this way, that's why Srila Prabhupada called modern education the slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse. They slaughter the intelligence of children with all their nonsense theories. Theory going on for hundreds of years. No conclusion, only theory. But teach it as it is as a fact. This is called cheating the people. It's cheating. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada gave us so much better understanding about what are the facts of life, so that we cannot become diverted from the goal of life, which is to obtain love for Krishna. We see so many different incarnations being described here. Some of them are Leela avatars, Guna avatars, Manvantars, Purusha avatars, Shakyavesh avatars. So many different kinds of avatars. These are all forms of the Lord that have come. And there's also Yuga avatars. So in this Kali Yuga, the Lord doesn't come directly, but He comes in a hidden form. He comes in a hidden form. Right? And that's mentioned in Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam. The Lord is mentioned there, but in a hidden way. He's Chanavatar, hidden. Right? Because in His other avatars, as mentioned in the verse, Pritranayana Sarunam Vinasaya Chadustrakam, He annihilates the demons. But in this particular incarnation, in His covered incarnation, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, He liberates the demons. Right? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated the Sankirtan movement so that everyone, regardless of their situation, they can get the highest benefit. They can develop love for Krishna. Right? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered his idea was that all the people of the world should be delivered. Right? So being the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have to assist him in his mission. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is described that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in anxiety because there are so many conditioned souls in this Kali Yuga and how they will be delivered. So Srila Prabhupada says that a real follower of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will try to relieve him of his anxiety by preaching the Krishna consciousness movement, by trying to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. And of course, Srila Prabhupada has given us the perfect method, various methods, for spreading Krishna consciousness. He's given us his transcendental literatures that we can distribute. He's given us the holy name that we can distribute in the Harinam Sankirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. And he's given us Krishna Prasadam to distribute, right? So someone may not take a book, someone may not be interested to chant the holy name, right? But mostly people will take prasadam, right? So in some way we can catch them, right? If they become accustomed to eating prasadam, they will become purified, right? They'll become purified. And if they become purified, then their purpose in having this human form of life will become fulfilled. That they'll be able to go back home, back to the spiritual world. So these prayers by the demigods are very instructive. And this particular prayer, we learn that the Lord comes in various forms, and in all the forms, he comes to protect the devotees, to enliven the devotees, to stop the disturbance from the non-devotees, and this is his purpose in coming. It's also beneficial for the non-devotees when the Lord comes, right? On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, whoever was there, even though they were killed in the battle, still they were benefited. Shishupal is a big demon, very big demon. He was so much against Krishna, and he was criticizing Krishna like anything. But when Krishna finally killed him, his form, his soul, came out of that form and merged into the body of Krishna, right? And this was amazing to the others who were there. They saw that. So even the demons, they're benefited when they're annihilated by Krishna. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful that even though they have the demoniac mentality, he wants to deliver them. He wants to make them devotees of Krishna. He wants them to go back to the spiritual world, to be with Krishna. And because it's his desire, therefore it will happen. And if we cooperate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire to deliver all the conditioned souls, we'll also be benefited. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions? Yes? You got a microphone? There's a mic coming.
Yeah, so the non-devotees, so you've defined the devotees in a very nice way. So how do you define the non-devotees? Because somewhere in the verses I noticed that the non-devotees are going to be annihilated.
They're going to be?
Annihilated. So somewhere in the text I saw that the non-devotees would be annihilated.
Annihilated. Yeah.
Yes. So what is meant there? Because I have come across this verse in the past as well, but I have really not been able to relate to it too much.
Well, you know, everyone in this material world ultimately has to die. That means annihilation is sure for everyone. And somebody can say, well, the non-devotees are annihilated, but devotees are annihilated? So what's the difference? Right? But there's a big difference. And Prabhupada nicely gives an example about what that difference is. He talks about the cat. The cat, when a cat moves its kittens, how does she do it? She picks them up with her mouth by the back of the neck, and she moves them, right? Because there may be some danger. She's got 4 or 5 kittens or 2, and so she moves them from this place to that place so they'll be protected. Now when the kitten is in the mouth of its mother, it doesn't feel any problem. The kitten feels protected. My mother, right? But the cat also catches the rat by the mouth. But what is the rat thinking? Oh, death. This is death, right? So, in the same way, the non-devotees, they see death as they don't even want to think about it, right? They try to block out the fact that they're going to die through all kinds of, psychological maneuverings. And this in psychology, people understand. People are very afraid of death, although sometimes with great bravado. "No, I'm not afraid to die." They say like that. But when the time comes, they're very fearful. But for the non-devotee, that this is the annihilation, that they've worked very hard in their life for whatever they have. It may not be much, but even the pauper is proud of his penny. What to speak of the billionaires and their great empire that they have worked very hard to create, only to have everything stolen away at the time of death. So this is very difficult for them. This is annihilation, right? But for the devotee, it's not annihilation. They're serving Krishna. They're chanting Krishna's name. At the time of death, they see, "Oh, Krishna has come to take me." They're peaceful. There's so many examples. Devotees feel very peaceful, right? So this we can understand. The devotees are protected and the demons are annihilated. It's a matter of consciousness. The devotees live their life depending on Krishna. They're not in anxiety about a lot of things, right? The Lord provides them with what they need. But the non-devotees, because of their denial of the existence of the Lord, because they're not interested in the Lord, they struggle very hard and never reach happiness. So this is the difference, between the situation of the devotees of the Lord and the non-devotees.
So can we say that the non-devotees are also on a path of self-destruction because they are not connected with the Lord?
Yes, that's true. Just see how self-destructive they are. Smoking, lung cancer, right? Drinking, brain damage, right? Every time they get intoxicated, they lose thousands of brain cells, die due to the effects of alcohol, right? They destroy their liver, stomach. Yes, very self-destructive. Right? Very self-destructive. But they can't help themselves. They don't have any power to stop this self-destructive mood that they're in. They don't have any Shakti. Because Maya is the Lord's Shakti. And who is more powerful than Maya? No one here. Maya is all powerful. So you can say, well, Maya is also there for the devotees. But the devotees have an opportunity to be with Krishna through Krishna's holy name and through Krishna's prasadam. Devotees take shelter of Krishna's prasadam. And therefore, Maya stays away. She can't come forward. She can't show her power to the devotees when they're taking shelter of Krishna. Right? I give the example, Prabhupada gives the example, just like, in the villages, in UP or Bihar, Asim, in the village in Bihar, when the ladies come in front of other men, they hide their face, right? Right? Isn't it? आजकल बॉम्बे में ना ऐसा नहीं होता है. हम लोग देखते नहीं. Ladies, they never cover their head. But in the villages, they cover their head like this. They don't let other men see them, right? So Maya Devi, she's like that in front of Krishna. She like this. She can't come in front, right? So Prabhupada says, if you keep yourself next to Krishna, then Maya has no influence. Just like it's cold. Of course, Bombay, it doesn't get cold so much. But right now in Vrindavan, it's very cold. Nighttime, it's getting down to 7, 8 degrees. Very cold, right? But if you have a little fire, you have a nice fire, and you stand by the fire, then the cold can't touch you because you're warm by the fire. In the same way, if you keep yourself next to Krishna by chanting Krishna's holy name, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare. Maya can't touch you. But if you don't, even though you're trying to be a pious person, right? Pious, so-called piety, but that won't protect you. Still, Maya is so powerful. There'll be illicit sex, there'll be homosex, there'll be child sex, so many things, horrible things, terrible things, simply because they don't take shelter of Krishna. Okay? Any other questions? All right, thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
हरे कृष्णा. हरे कृष्णा. बैठे रहिए. मेरे पास एक खुश खबर है और एक दुख का समाचार भी है. तो खुश खबर यह है कि अभी हमारे मंदिर के वरिष्ठ भक्त श्रीमान धन्वंतरी प्रभु, इनका तुलादान महोत्सव है उधर. तो सभी भक्तों को मैं अनुरोध करता हूं कि वहां पर आए और कीर्तन करें. और दूसरा दुख का समाचार यह है कि आज तुलादान महोत्सव का आखिरी दिन है. तो किसी भक्त को अगर कुछ सेवा करनी है, अपना जीवन धन्य करना है, तो आज का दिन आखिरी मौका है. आप कर सकते हैं. आज आके मुझे मिली है और यहाँ पर कर लीजिए. आज रात को 9 बजे तक रहेगा. धन्यवाद. हरे कृष्णा. हंसरूप